Our next question comes from G and K Old School, who has been practicing many different martial arts, from karate to judo to jiu-jitsu to, you name it. And over 60 years of life, he's had a lot of experience in martial arts. And he's got a question about martial arts for self-defense. He asks, in my opinion, what's the best martial art for self-defense as far as the amount of time and money and effort you have to put into it in order to be prepared for an altercation with an untrained knucklehead on the street, as he puts it. Now, my thoughts about this have changed a lot over the years. If you asked me, well, I don't know, 10 years ago, I might have said something along the lines of maybe kickboxing or judo or jiu-jitsu or whatever. But the older I get, the more I realize how important physical fitness is in such an altercation. In unarmed combat, being incredibly strong is incredibly useful. Now, I know a lot of folks out there are thinking, yeah, but technique trumps strength and all that. Yeah, sure, I get it. But, man, if you have had the experience of training with high-level power lifters and strongman competitors and that sort of thing, as far as like sparring with those guys, especially when they don't know anything about fighting technique, man, trying to control those guys is incredibly difficult, if not impossible, when you're significantly weaker and smaller than them. So there's a lot of value in lifting heavy things, man. And that might not sound like a martial art, but again, the more I train with really, really big guys, the more I realize, man, that stuff is useful in a fight. As a second alternative, and if you want to go on the cheap, and sprinting. But at the same time, everybody always says, well, in a street altercation, just run away. But I'll tell you, one of the big reasons I started learning how to fight in the first place is because I wasn't fast enough to run away from the bullies when I was a kid. I got bullied a lot, and they chased after me, and they outran me every time, and so I ended up getting in fights for the simple reason that I was not a very fast runner. And I've got a little faster over the years, but I'm still not a very fast runner, to be honest. It's not my strong suit. And so, well, if you can't run, got to learn how to fight, right?